Hi everyone, this is Neil Wright, consultant audiologist and director of ClearWax. Thank you for joining me in my latest video using the Waxscape. And here we have a patient who attended with fully occluding softish earwax, and that was their left ear that you just saw on screen, and this is their right ear. This is the ear that they felt to be more affected. So I'm going to commence with this one first. I've just instilled some medical grade olive oil spray immediately. This patient is a regular patient every 18 months or so. And because of the consistency of the wax, the olive oil just helps to coagulate, bind the wax together so it comes out in bigger lumps. They have got quite narrow midsections of both ear canals. I'm using our standard size specular though. We have got a smaller specular size. However, because it's the midsection of the ear canal, the speculum is not going to enter far enough in to be able to dilate that. And in fact, the mid part of the ear canal is bony anyway, so it's rigid, so you're not going to be able to expand that using a specular. And they've got a lot of dead skin that's enveloping this wax. So you can see that skin onto the left, it's wrapped itself around this plug all the way towards the eardrum. So I'm just going to go a bit higher up and try to drag this down. Once I remove this plug, they've got this really mushy skin and wax at the floor of the ear canal near the eardrum. It's not something that I particularly enjoy removing because when it's so sticky and mushy and you're having to go so close to the canal wall, of course you don't want to make contact with the ear canal, but we did manage to remove that. You can see there's a few hairs that just got suctioned up there, so they were matted. I'm just trying to lift this up and I'm giving it this little wriggle movement to try to tease it away, but because it's actually trapped there in this narrow midsection. So I've got probably 2/3 of it. The eardrum is revealing itself at 9 o'clock. You can see that blue tinge. I'm just rocking it up and down, and as I am, I'm coming forwards. A lot of it is getting suction up the tube. That bit there just got blocked at the entrance of the suction tip. So this piece of wax has been dragged forward near the entrance. I'm just going to clear this. So I'm just going to go higher up. You can just see how soft it is. It's breaking away. So this plug of wax is a lot softer and wetter than their left side. I would say this is probably a grade 5/6, type 5 or type 6, whereas their left side is probably a type 5. So this is some deeper wax, just getting that in focus. But they have got quite a prominent anterior canal wall, so the ear canal to the right hand side, the front part of the ear canal, does protrude inwards. So we're going to be careful that we don't graze that. And this is that mushy wax that's just sitting on the floor of the ear canal. They could hear significantly better already because the eardrum is unoccluded now. I think I'm using the 16 gauge. And again, they've got this layer of skin just underneath. And it's really sticky. So I think I'm going to put a bit more oil in just to try to get underneath this. Even if we left the ear as it is at the moment, the patient symptoms have been alleviated, but I just wanted to try and remove this for the patient. You can see the eardrum in the distance. We're going to get that in focus in a moment. So the sound waves can travel through. So initially I was going for that tail end of it, but I've just refocused to where the skin is beginning to peel. And I'm going to slowly lift up and away. I'm going to go to the right as well, trying to get this off the anterior canal wall, but I've got to be careful I don't make contact with that region. And you can see the skin is lifted both to the right and the floor and to the back now. So I'm going to try to slowly go forwards towards the eardrum. You can see how I'm just suctioning inwards away from the anterior canal wall. Just going to refocus slightly. So with the Waxscape, it looks humongous, this piece of wax, but you can see the majority of the eardrum is visible. There is a little bit of skin on the eardrum and it's going to partly peel away, but it was clarinetting, so once I got this wax out, I did stop. there's just a little bit left there. So I'm just going to stretch open the ear. So that's in the inferior recess. As we approach the eardrum, the ear canal narrows and it widens again, and it creates a little ditch at the floor of the ear canal, just right adjacent in front of the eardrum and also to the right hand side. So I'm just hovering over, because it's a mushy piece. If we smudging it, you're just going to smear it against the eardrum, and I'm happy with that. And more importantly, so as the patient, you can see there's a bit of skin just to the left hand side from the center of the eardrum. So I'm just going to mop some soft wax near the entrance. So this is on the cartilage portion. It's just before the second bend. A bit of skin there, but again, just want to hover over, and then we're just going to mop up some of the oil where the first bend is. So I'm just gliding over with the suction tip, and then we're going to move on to their left ear. So this ear was a bit narrower. So this piece of wax is just where the first bend is. You can see those hairs protruding from the right hand side. So we're just going to lift this up and away. The skin that was enveloping this plug was a bit more crustier than the skin that was enveloping their right plug. Let's just put a bit more oil in there. So this specular is right up against the wax near the entrance. So I can't insert the specular any further at this point because it will just be pushing that wax deeper. And I'm just trying to tug away at the floor of the ear canal here, trying to loosen this skin. So there's a bit of a thicker blanket of skin. I'm just trying to clear some of the wax at the top. So this is adhered to the posterior canal wall and also to the floor of the ear canal, which is quite often the case. If you loosen wax plugs from the floor of the ear canal and also from the posterior canal wall, you can then mobilize it. You can see the suction tip. This is a standard 14 gauge. So what we typically refer as the Zollner in the UK. And it just about fits. So this plug now, it's past the second bend, so we're more than a centimetre into the ear canal. And this extends all the way to the eardrum. So from the entrance where we are now to the eardrum, it's approximately 2.5 centimetres in length. And they've got this thicker layer of skin here on the anterior canal wall. So you can see I'm just going down with the skin, trying to peel it away. And this is where it was quite adhered. It was quite stuck in this region. Now to the back part, we're just going to be careful we don't make contact with the bony part of the ear canal. We don't know how thick this layer of wax and skin is. Got a nice little segment of wax that came away. So I'm just going to stretch open. I'm just going to insert this specular slightly further in. And I've just put some more oil in. So we're using oil at multiple stages in layers. But this is a lot firmer, drier, this wax here. It's quite surprising how much wax came out. You'll see it in a moment. I took what I believe to be the last plug of wax off the eardrum, and then when I re-entered, there was another piece of wax that appeared from nowhere, if you like. So this skin is on the anterior canal wall. So I'm using, I think, the 16 gauge suction tip just to minimize clarinetting. So when you suction dead skin, sometimes it can violently flap at the edge of the suction tip, and it emits a very loud, high frequency squeal. It's not only loud for the patient, it's also loud for the clinician. So this is the narrow section of the ear canal that I mentioned in both sides, but more so here, the mid part of the ear canal, so we're halfway in, it does narrow considerably. And when I'm positioning the suction tip, because it's quite dry and crusted, I can feel it almost glance away, but managed to get a piece of wax from the deeper region of the ear canal away. It's quite a bendy ear as well. You can see how I'm having to navigate the first and second bend. This is why the Waxscope really comes into its own, because of the high level magnification. You can you have much more confidence working close to the canal wall. And particularly this region, I just don't know if I move the suction probe to the right too much, I might make direct contact with the canal. So, because I have got quite elongated ear canals. And what I mean by that, our ear canals are oval in shape, so the height is greater than the width. But in this patient, I would say the height is considerably greater than the width. Now the ear canal has revealed itself. So I'm just going to tease this plug. And I thought that was everything because it's quite a considerable plug. But when I went back in, you'll see there's another plug. So we're just going to get that midsection in focus. It is mobilized, so you've got to be careful not to push it further in accidentally. So you want to generate that suction power. And then I've got to wriggle it out of the ear canal because it's a bendy, narrow ear. So you can see I'm navigating it from right to left now and then up out of the entrance. And you will see when we re-enter that you can see how much narrower this ear canal is and compared to their right side. So you can see to the left, that's their second bend. Nice healthy eardrum. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Take care, keep well, and speak soon. Bye.